Hey, folks, I have a quick message before we kick this episode off. We are giving away a free bow. That's right, you heard it correctly. We are giving away a free Matthews Lift X to one lucky podcast listener as a way to say thank you for supporting the past show and now Drawn West. So, we are going to be giving away a Lift X. The winner will get to choose whether they want a Lift X 29.5, that's a 29.5-inch axle-to-axle bow, or if they want the Lift X 33. The winner also gets to choose whether they want a 60-pound, a 70-pound, or an 80-pound bow. You name it, you get to choose. You also get to choose your draw length and the color bow you want. What color riser, what color limbs. We want to make sure whoever wins this bow gets exactly what they want. It's not a cookie cutter 70-pound, 30-inch draw. We know a lot of people don't fit that kind of bow, and so we are going to order exactly the right bow to fit your needs. So you can get signed up over at getdrawnwest.com/giveaway. There should be a link in our podcast show notes. You can get there from our social pages, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. They're all Get Drawn West, one word. You can get entered to win. Now, here is the kicker. While it's a completely free giveaway, we want to make sure that people that really need a new bow, if you're one of those guys or gals like myself who's been having the same bow for almost 10 years, we want to make sure you have all the opportunity in the world to stack the odds in your favor, rack up as many bonus entries as possible. And they're all completely free as well. They are very simple to do. Go and see the entire list at getdrawnwest.com/giveaway, but I'll quickly run through them all. If you just get signed up, you're going to get an email, a confirmation email that says you're in. If you just reply to that email or send an email to brian@getdrawnwest.com, that's me, that's my email, I'm the only one that reads them, and just tell us which Lift X you'd choose, the 29.5 or the 33, what color's calling your name. Give us the specs of your dream bow. You're going to get 5 extra points. It's just like our Western applications. The more points you have, the better your odds of winning. So right off the bat, tell us what your dream Lift X looks like, 5 points. Second place, subscribe to the Drawn West podcast. It is the best way to help the show grow, and it means more to us here at Drawn West than you can possibly imagine. So you hit that subscribe button on whatever podcast app you're listening to the show on, and just send a quick screenshot to brian@getdrawnwest.com or DM it to us at any platform at getdrawnwest. All you got to do, hit the subscribe button, take a screenshot, send it over. We'll see it. We'll give you 10 more points. While you're doing that, number 3 is just as easy. If you leave a 5-star rating on the podcast, you're going to get an additional 10 points. That's 10 for each. So now we're at 20. Simple. Give us a quick rating. It really helps the show grow and gives back and allows us to do more cool things like give away free bows, which I love to do, and hopefully we can do more of them. So subscribe to the podcast, leave a 5-star rating. That's 20 points. Just screenshot both or do both at once and send one screenshot that shows the 5-star rating and the review or the subscribe, and email it to us or send it in a DM. Very simple. Fourth way, share the giveaway with your hunting buddies. There's a couple ways to do this. You can spread the word, rack up extra points. You can send the link to the giveaway page in an email and just add us, CC us, or add us to the email, Brian@getdrawnwest again, or DM it to somebody. DM it on Instagram, send it in a text message. Just take a simple screenshot. You can blur out the number or the name, doesn't matter if you want to or not, and send it over to us. You're going to get 5 extra points for each person you send it to. We're going to limit that one to 25 total points because we don't want everyone in your phone getting blown up with a bow giveaway, even if they're not a bow hunter. So send it to 5 of your hunting buddies that need a new bow and send us just a quick screenshot. It says that you did it. We want to make sure this is an honest competition, that no one's cheating to take your bow. We don't want anyone else there trying to take away your chance at winning this bow. So we just got to keep a little bit of guide rails on this. And then the 5th way, the best way to win this bow, listening to the Drawn West podcast. That's right. You're already doing it. You're listening. Later on in this episode, we are going to release a code word. Each week, it's going to be a different code word. When you hear that code word, just fire off a quick DM or an Instagram message or an email and send us the code word. You're going to get 20 entries, 20 extra points to win every week. So you're going to stack up the odds a lot. If you really want this bow, I want to give you every chance possible to win this bow. And here is the special to even sweeten the deal even more. We're going to add something extra. If you are selected as the winner and you have done each of those 5 options, you've emailed us what your favorite bow specs would be, what your dream build is, you've subscribed to the podcast, you've left a 5-star rating, you've shared it with at least one friend, and you have emailed in at least one podcast code, you've done all 5 at least once, we're going to let you pick a complete custom string and cable set to fully customize your bow to be exactly what you want. I just did this exact same thing with my Lift X33. You're going to hear about it on the podcast. I went with a shale fade to black, so my top is gray, my bottom's black. I have a Lift X33. I went with an 80-pound bow, 30.5-inch draw, and I went with solid green strings and cables. So we want to make sure when you win this bow, you get something that you're really excited about. And so if you've done all 5 of those things, you're going to get to fully build out a custom bow on the Matthews Bow Builder tool on their website. And that's what we're going to order for you. And that's what you're going to get. So make sure you do all 5, because if you win and you only did 4, you're going to be really bummed that you don't get the cool custom string color. They're all free. They're all super easy to do. And I wish each and every one of you the best of luck. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the very first episode of the Drawn West podcast. I'm your host, Brian Krebs, and I am very excited for this project, and I'm thankful that you're here to listen. And you're probably wondering, what is Drawn West? And we're going to get into that in this episode. This is going to be our pilot episode. I'm going to lay the foundation for what the Drawn West podcast is going to be. If you're listening to this, you've likely came from one of our other podcasts, whether it's the Two Bucks podcast, the Western Rookie podcast. You've probably heard some of our content before. So you're probably confused and thinking, why a new show? Why a new brand? What was wrong with the old brand? And we're going to get into all that. But if you're new and you've never seen me before, you may be here because you saw a Matthews bow giveaway. That's a pretty cool thing we're doing. You may be here because you saw some of our new social media content. For whatever reason that you're here, I'll do a quick introduction. So my name, obviously, Brian Krebs. I grew up whitetail hunting in Minnesota, where I'm from and I currently live. And eventually that evolved into a dream to go west. And as soon as I got done with college, we started doing archery elk hunts every year as a group. And those first archery elk hunts were amazing. There's something about going west for the first time, hitting the road, a 12-hour road trip, truck full of great guys, laughter, a bunch of BSing. And through those trips, I really fell in love with hunting the West. And I kept adding more and more trips as possible. A archery mule deer hunt, a rifle hunt for whitetails on the West River, rifle elk, rifle antelope, all these things. We just started adding as much hunting as I could out west because I absolutely love it. And while I still do a lot of whitetail hunting at our farms here in Minnesota, every year without fail, I have gone out west doing something, whether it's archery elk with the group, or now recently bringing my wife with me, who's now finished with residency. She's staffing at the hospital and can finally have some time away to go on these hunts with me. We're really excited. And so that's a little bit about me. That's where I came from. That's how I got into this. And eventually that led to starting the Western Rookie, or not starting, but coming on to the Western Rookie podcast and being the Western Rookie host for almost 150 episodes. It was a really fun time. And that's where a lot of you that have come from the Western Rookie show are probably wondering, why a new brand? What was wrong with the old one? What's going on? Is there tea to be spilled? And I'll just cut right to the chase for anyone that came from the old show. Absolutely nothing wrong with the old show whatsoever. This is an evolution of me um, as a hunter and as a podcaster and a creator. I wanted to change a little bit of what we talk about. I wanted to change the vibe, a little bit of the topics and theme, and talking through those changes with Dan Johnson, owner of the Sportsman's Empire Podcast Network, host of Nine Finger Chronicles, and with Western Rookie being a Sportsman's Empire podcast, I ran this by him. We talked for months, folks. Like, this was not a rush deal, was not a spur decision. I'm not getting kicked out. I chose to do this. And when we talked about it, we really just came to the conclusion that there's enough here for 2 shows. So Western Rookie is going to continue. Dan Johnson's going to host that. He's going to take his spin on getting into Western hunting. A lot of you that have listened to the Western Rookie from the OG days know that there's been multiple hosts of the Western Rookie. It's kind of been a podcast where people will come on for a couple years, share their spin, and then move on to new things. I took over from Dan Matthews. Dan Matthews took over from someone else, and now it's Dan Johnson's turn. So that's still going to be out there. Still encourage you all to go and listen to that podcast as well if you love that style of content and you're curious what Dan Johnson's going to do with it. This podcast and what I want to do with Drawn West is I want to take it another step further. So I want to focus on a different theme than just getting into Western hunting. I really want to start talking about the type of hunting that I do, that me and Abby do, and I think a lot of you do, that's different. It's so different than just getting a tag, and it's so different than if you live where the elk are. And so Drawn West is really going to focus on those those of us hunters that travel for hunting, whether it's out of state, out of town, maybe it's across the whole country, and all of the things that go into planning a hunt like that. Whether it's just how to draw tags, which units do I apply for? You all from the Western Rookie Show know that I love draw odds. I love statistics. I'm very passionate about helping people understand what these state applications are like. And we're still going to provide all of that great information here on Drawn West. So we're going to cover how to get tags, how to find units, how to find places to hunt. But then we're also going to take it a step further and talk about all of the things that are unique about traveling away from home to hunt. You know, we talked to a ton of great people on the Western Rookie, and through all those conversations, there was kind of a reoccurring theme that was coming up when I would talk to someone that had an incredible amount of experience and success in the West. A lot of times it was, hey, how did you, how are you finding these giant bucks? How are you shooting these big bucks? And, a little bit of an exaggeration here, but it would be like, well, we scouted that buck for 3-4 years until he was really mature and ready. And, my son works for that rancher, and so we got permission on that piece. And we watched him for like 10 weeks until he came down out of the high country and we could finally get in on him. And, then we went in and killed him. And I'm like, great. That's awesome. Happy for you. But I can't apply any of that. I don't live out there. I don't have multiple years to watch animals. I can't scout these units ahead of time. I don't know local ranchers to get permission often. I got 7 days to get this done and get back to work. And I think that's a lot of you that listen to this show. I think a lot of us are under a time crunch. We don't live in Montana. We don't live in Colorado. We don't live in these places where these Western animals are. And so every time we want to try to go on an elk hunt or an antelope hunt or a mule deer hunt, it's the same set of variables. Where do I go? How do I get there? What do I do when I get there? And how do I get home on time? And that doesn't change. And so the Drawn West podcast, we're really going to dive into all of those unique, specific things. And we're going to talk about a lot. Now, we're still going to have a lot of guests on the podcast. And every now and then, guests may be locals, out west, because I think there are some things that we can learn from people that live with elk or hunt elk a lot, because they're going to see a lot of behavior. But I also want to make sure we're focusing a lot on those unique aspects of traveling. What's our sleep system look like? What gear do I need to bring? How many days should I budget? What do I need to have in the truck when we leave home? All of those things. They're so unique with this type of hunting that we do, and that's the style of hunting I do. If you've been listening to the show, we talk about whitetails every now and then, but even when I go bow hunting back home, I got to hit the road. I got to load up the truck. I got to make sure I've got my tethers, my saddles, my stands, my bow, my camo. I got to make sure all the batteries are charged. I got to make sure we got the camera. Got to figure out, I've got 3 hunts. Most of the time I get 3 hunts. I get a Saturday morning, a Saturday evening, and a Sunday morning. And so I got 3 choices to make. Where am I going to sit? How am I going to get on game? How am I going to get back on the road in time? And that's unique. I think that's something that not a lot of shows really highlight or talk about, but it's a majority of how most of us hunt the West. So I'm really excited for this new podcast. I am going to be releasing it. This is a pilot. We've got the first couple episodes already recorded. We're going to be working on getting a bunch of good guests and just diving into all those fun topics. Because if you guys are anything like me, the planning process for these trips, these annual trips, is almost as exciting as the trip itself. Right now, Abby and I are planning a Colorado mule deer hunt. She's never gone mule deer hunting. I've never had a mule deer hunt where we actually saw lots of game and had a good, hunt. My mule deer experience has always been shooting the only / biggest buck we saw on public land the whole week. Right. I went to my first mule deer hunt, Wyoming, way back in 17, and right out of college, we didn't see any bucks on public. We ended up shooting the first buck we saw, which was not a big buck at all. And we were happy. We were happy to get a buck and bring it home. Fast forward a couple years, I go to Wyoming again with the family. The family's doing an antelope hunt. I didn't have enough points for antelope, so I got a mule deer tag. And again, a whole week of hunting public land and just hearing nonstop reports about how dry it's been and how down the numbers are, and no one's seeing game. And eventually got super fortunate to shoot my biggest mule deer to date, which was a 130-inch 3x3. And then the next year, back at it again, Montana, same story, drought conditions, not a lot of game. I think that time I did pass a fork mule deer and a spike mule deer. So technically not the only, but the biggest I saw was a 3x4, and I had to crawl into 500 yards before I got cliffed out or, ran out of hide, and shot that mule deer at 498. And again, not a lot of opportunity. And so this hunt, I'm excited. I'm really excited to figure out how we're going to get there. Are we going to camp? Are we going to get a camper? Are we going to get a hotel? I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know yet. We're still in that planning phase, and that's what makes it fun. Personally, I think that's the half of the journey, is just the planning process and getting so excited for all of these trips that we do. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that on the podcast. We're going to go through a lot of different things. Some of them might be familiar, but I just want to make sure through this podcast, we're helping as many people as possible answer these same questions. It's going to be I'm not the expert. I've done it enough. My role with this is to learn and bring others along with me as I learn more about this, talk to true experts. Hopefully we can get a bunch of great people on the podcast to talk and share. We're going to cover a lot of things, and I'm really, really excited for it. So to kick that off, that's the wrap up. That's kind of what we're thinking for this new show. And I'm super, super excited for it. And I hope each and every one of you are also excited as well. Moving forward, you're going to see a lot of changes coming. We're going to keep the social channels. We're rebranding the website. A lot of work behind the scenes here at Drawn West. And so moving forward, you might start to see some of that come out. So the socials are going to be Get Drawn West across all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. The website is up and running as we speak, getdrawnwest.com. The podcast, obviously, you're already listening to that, so we're good there. and we're doing some fun stuff. We've got some phenomenal partners. So if anyone has been following the Western Rookie to date, you know some of the partners we have: Arctic Coolers, XOP saddles. We have Maverick Hunting Blinds. Um, we also got a new sponsors. We got a new partner that we're really excited to announce. Matthews Archery has decided to partner with us on the Drawn West podcast, and that is where some of you may be coming from. You might be coming from the Matthews giveaway. So we are giving away a Matthews Lift X, and the coolest part about this giveaway is that I wanted to make sure whoever wins is going to get the best bow for them. I don't want someone to win and be like, great, but now I have to sell this and get something I can actually use. And so whoever wins is going to get to pick their model of Lift X, whether you want the 29.5 or the 33-inch axle to axle. I personally got the 33. I love it. It just showed up in the mail. I went with a super cool slate fade to black. I went with all integrated accessories this time. It was really like a kid in the candy store. And we're doing a full breakdown bonus series, the Bridge Lock bonus series, on setting up a bow, getting it tuned, getting it dialed, getting it locked in for hunting season. So you can see all the content related to my new bow and all the things that some of these I'm learning myself on how to do all this stuff, how to get your bow tuned up, how to fix some of the things that go wrong with your arrow flight, with your paper tune, all those things. But for the giveaway, you're going to get to pick which model you want. You're going to get to pick which color bow you want. If you want a black, a tan, a coyote, shale fade to black, brown fade to black, you want a camo bow, whatever you want, you're going to get if you win. You're also going to get to pick your draw length and your draw weight. I have not ordered the giveaway bow yet. I'm waiting until we pick the winner and they can select the exact bow they want, which I think is super cool. So I'm excited for that. The giveaway is completely free. You do not have to spend $1 to win. In fact, you cannot spend any money as a part of this giveaway. I'm not selling any products. I don't have any products to sell. You cannot spend money on this. Everything is free. We are doing this to say thank you for being here. We're doing this to build excitement for the new podcast. We're doing this to give back to all of you because you are truly the reason why we do this and the reason why we are able to continue doing this. So this is all for you, completely free. We got a whole bunch of ways that you can get additional bonus entries. It's just like application season, folks. Whoever's got the most entries, whoever's got the most points has the best odds of winning. And so if you're someone that is well overdue for a new bow like I was, we've got ways that you can really stack the odds in your favor. And we got all that information over on the website, getdrawnwest.com, all one word. So we're really excited about that. Make sure you get entered to win the bow because someone's going to get it. Someone is going to get that bow this summer. Hopefully it ships and arrives before your bow season kicks off, but we are going to announce the winner before the end of summer. So go over there, get signed up, check out the ways to win. One of the ways that you can enter, we're still working out some of the details. A lot of this is kind of new. I'm getting everything spooled up. It's a lot of work. One of the ways that you can get more entries to win, guaranteed way to do that, is simply by giving the podcast a subscription, subscribing on whatever platform you listen to, and giving the podcast a 5-star rating or review. If you do those two things and you send us a screenshot or any type of proof, typically a screenshot, and you email that to me personally, Brian at getdrawnwest.com, that's going to get you a bunch of bonus entries. I believe we are doing like 10 entries a piece for those. Let me double check. I don't want to lie to anyone. And so we got all the information up on our up on the podcast website. So Yeah, subscribe to the podcast. You're going to get 10 entries. Give a 5-star rating or a review. You're going to get 10 more entries. And for a special kind of kicker, if you do all of the bonus entries over on the website, we got 5 ways you can get more entries. If you do all of those, because you really want the bow, I'm going to reward whoever wins. If they've done all 5 of those bonus entries, we're going to let them pick out a complete custom string and custom colors all for free. So you're going to get a fully tricked out custom Matthews Lift X. You're going to get your specific draw length, your specific draw weight, your model, whether you want the 29 or the 33 or a different Matthews bow, and the color bow. What do you want? Camo? Do you want a white? All of those you're going to get, especially if you do all 5. If you do all 5, we're going to throw in the custom string as well, so you can have the bow of your dreams. All just to say thank you and to give back to all of you that have given so much to the podcast, for being here, for being listeners of this podcast. So like I said, head over to getdrawnwest.com, check out the giveaway, check out the new website, send us an email, see what you say, see what you think about the website. But all of the info you need for the drawing is over on the website. And like I said, it's completely free. You are not allowed to spend any money on it. I have no products to sell. This isn't one of those giveaways where you have to buy merch in order to win. We're doing it for free. I want to give back to each and every one of you. And if this goes well, if the giveaway goes well, we're going to try to do another one next year or whenever we can, and hopefully grow it even bigger. Hopefully we're giving away cooler stuff, more bows. We'll see what we can come up with, but we got to see how this one goes first. So if you're excited about that, get over there, get signed up. I really appreciate it. And please, if you haven't already, I really am asking you to give the podcast a rating and subscribe. Even if you don't care about the bow and you're not going to enter to win, or even if you've already done that, you can still send that proof in and get your bonus entries. But it's the number one way to help this show, help me, and help us provide more content. It gives us more credibility. It helps us get more expertise of guests on the podcast. It goes a long ways to helping the show. And so if you've got the time and if you are willing, please consider giving the podcast a rating and subscribing on whatever platform you listen to. So thank you, folks, for being here. I'm really excited about the Drawn West podcast. We've got a bunch of exciting stuff coming. We're going to continue providing all of the value that we've provided in the past, and we're looking for ways to keep getting more value. So you've probably seen we did the application calendar on the previous podcast. We're going to keep doing that. We're going to start releasing some more free digital products. Hey, folks. Like I said earlier in the beginning of this podcast, this is the secret code word. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you missed the intro message, we are doing a Matthews Lift bow giveaway, a completely free giveaway, and you can get signed up right now. If you haven't been signed up yet, if you're not signed up, go to getdrawnwest.com/giveaway. Get signed up for it. It's all you need is an email. It's completely free. You cannot spend money to win this. And this week's code word is Drawn West. Of course, we had to go with the name of the podcast. It's the first episode. So send Drawn West to me, either in an email or a DM. Send it to Brian at getdrawnwest.com or send it to Instagram in a DM at getdrawnwest. And you're going to get 20 extra entries for the Matthews giveaway. One more time, code word this week, Drawn West. Use the 1 word, 2 words you pick. Just send it in, Drawn West, to get your 20 extra entries, and make sure you're signed up to win this epic bow giveaway. Thanks for listening. We're going to get back into the podcast right now to help you. So we got pack lists, truck lists. We've got all kinds of free stuff like that coming. We're working on some products. Hopefully this is exciting, but we're working on free products that you can go get and just save to your camera roll, like a little picture. So when you finally do get that dream trophy on the ground and you're like, crap, what do I do now? How do I get this thing caped out? We're trying to get something put together so you can go download it, save it to your camera roll. You don't need cell service. You can just open it up, zoom in, and it'll walk you through step by step how to do the gutless method, how to cape out your animal, how to cape out the hide, how to cape out the full face, how to do a Euro mount. All of those things, we're going to make sure we have a lot of resources for y'all to make sure you're having the best time possible out on the mountains. And so I'm really excited about it. I hope you can tell how excited I am by listening to this podcast, and just keep going on and on with all these ideas. We've got a lot of ideas we're really excited to bring to you and continue hopefully providing value and helping each and every one of you be more successful, have better memories, draw more tags, fill more tags, all that fun stuff. So we're excited. I'm really excited. I hope you're excited, but I am very thankful. I really want to drive that home, folks. I am so thankful that you're here. I'm very thankful that you've supported the podcast in the past and hopefully the new Drawn West podcast. Thank you for listening, folks.